Episode The Dyatlov Pass Incident, The Mystery That Won't Stay Buried. Asher Knight, and this is Cosmic Radio Podcast. In the dead of winter, in the frozen heart of the Ural Mountains, 9 experienced hikers set out on what should have been a challenging but routine expedition. They never returned. What happened on that mountain remains one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Something drove these hikers from their tent, something so terrifying, so immediate, that they slashed their way out from the inside and fled into the night, barely clothed, into the merciless sub-zero cold. Some died of exposure, others suffered catastrophic injuries that baffled investigators. One was missing a tongue, others eyes. Radiation traces were found on their clothing, and no clear explanation has ever fully accounted for what happened. Tonight, on the Cosmic Radio Podcast, we descend into the haunting enigma of the Dyatlov Pass incident. Was it a natural disaster, a military cover-up, or something far stranger? Strap in, because this is one mystery that refuses to be buried under the snow. The journey begins. Who were the Dyatlov 9? To understand the mystery, we have to start with the people at the heart of it. The Dyatlov group was composed of 9 skilled ski hikers, students and graduates of the Ural Polytechnical Institute. Their leader, Igor Dyatlov, was an experienced outdoorsman, meticulous in his planning. The group set out in late January 1959 with the goal of reaching Otorten Mountain, a trek classified as Category 3, the most difficult level of expedition. But these hikers weren't amateurs. They knew the risks, the cold, the terrain, and yet something happened on that mountain that no amount of training could have prepared them for. A 10th member, Yuri Yudin, had fallen ill early in the trip and turned back, a twist of fate that saved his life. He would never see his friends again. As for the rest, they ventured into the Ural wilderness, never knowing they were heading toward a fate that would confound investigators for decades to come. A tent torn from within, the night of terror. The group's last known night was February 1st, 1959. They had set up camp on the eastern slopes of Kolatsiakal, a name that, in the language of the local Mansi people, means dead mountain. What happened next remains one of the greatest mysteries in modern history. Sometime during the night, something terrified the hikers so badly that they cut open their tent from the inside and ran, without their boots, without coats, and into temperatures as low as minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 34 degrees Celsius. They left behind their gear, their food, their survival equipment. Whatever they saw, whatever they heard, was horrifying enough to send them into certain death rather than stay another second in that tent. But what could have caused such fear? A sudden avalanche? A wild animal? Something else? The hikers' footprints, oddly enough, showed no signs of panic, no erratic fleeing, no signs of a struggle. It was as if they walked, calmly at first, into the snow, toward the unknown. The grim discovery: unnatural deaths in the snow. Weeks later, a search team found the first bodies. 2 hikers lay near a tree, barefoot, dressed only in their underwear, their hands raw and splintered from desperately trying to climb into the branches, as if escaping something below. A few hundred meters away, 3 more bodies, including Dyatlov himself, were found, sprawled in the snow, frozen in poses suggesting they were trying to crawl back to camp. But it was the last 4 bodies, discovered 2 months later in a ravine, that took this case from tragic to terrifying. These hikers had suffered massive internal trauma, broken ribs, crushed skulls, injuries comparable to a car crash, yet without external wounds. One had a missing tongue, 2 were missing their eyes, another had strange burn marks on his body, and the clothes of some of the hikers contained traces of radiation. Something killed these hikers, and it wasn't just the cold. Theories, avalanche, military cover-up, or the unknown. For decades, investigators, researchers, and conspiracy theorists have debated what happened at Dyatlov Pass. The official Soviet report? An unknown compelling force had caused their deaths. But what does that mean? Some theories include avalanche, A sudden slide of snow might have forced them from their tent. But if that were the case, why was the tent still standing? And why were some of the bodies found far from the slope, showing no signs of impact from debris? Katabatic wind. A rare but deadly wind phenomenon could have caused disorientation and panic, but would that explain the missing eyes, tongue, and radiation? Soviet military experiments. Some believe the hikers stumbled upon a secret test, perhaps parachute mines or experimental weapons. Could they have been caught in the blast of a sonic or pressure-based weapon, causing their horrific injuries? Paranormal or extraterrestrial encounter. Strange lights were reported in the sky that night. Some claim UFOs could have played a role. Others speculate that cryptid-like creatures, possibly connected to Mansi legends, were involved. Infrasound. Could an unusual wind pattern have created frequencies that induced overwhelming fear and paranoia, driving them to flee into the cold? A mystery that won't die. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case, only to conclude, once again, that an avalanche was the most likely cause, but many remain unconvinced. Why did the government seal the case for decades? Why were the autopsy results so vague and contradictory? And why more than 60 years later does this story still haunt those who hear it? The Dyatlov Pass incident isn't just a mystery, it's a warning that even in our modern world there are still places where the unknown lingers, where the cold whispers secrets we may never fully understand. Perhaps the answers lie buried beneath the snow, or perhaps some things are never meant to be uncovered. What do you think happened on that mountain? And what would you have done if you were there? Thank you for joining us on the Cosmic Radio Podcast. I'm Asher Knight. If you enjoyed diving into the unexplained, make sure to follow, subscribe, and leave a review. And as always, keep your ears open, because the truth is out there.